Right, hello everybody. I am very excited this morning. Let me just tell you, if you are someone who's going through a difficult time in your relationship, and if you feel that your spouse isn't hearing you, you've tried every trick in the book, you have spoken softly and calmly, but still they ignore you, you have shouted and screamed, and yet they ignore you, you have kept your voice calm, cool, and collected, but still you don't feel heard. Guess what? My book has just come through. It's called How to Be Finally Heard. And it's for a woman who feels invisible, unheard, one argument away from giving up. Now, let me just give you a preview of what's inside. I'll talk to you about the contents. I'll read a couple of chapter headings for you. Introduction, do you recognize this? Chapter 1, why we stop hearing from each other. And chapter 2, if you feel that you have been carrying your relationship, there are some people who have been fighting for the relationship, fighting to get it fixed, urging their spouse to go to counseling or couples coaching or something like that. If you're feeling that you're carrying it all, you will be able to recognize yourself in this chapter and get some solutions to it. Now, what happens when he shuts down and shuts you out? Well, that chapter is about what to do, how to deal with a situation when your husband, and if your wife shuts down and locks you out. It's not about love, it's about wiring. Many times we get into conflict, many times we get into issues, many times we get into problems, and you think that you're having the greatest challenge, but primarily it is actually how you're configured, how you're wired, how you're hardwired, and how your spouse is hardwired that is causing the major friction. It's almost like if you build a house and the electrical wiring is put in one way, but you're trying to get a total different service from it, it's always going to trip out. It's always going to spark or short circuit. That's the word I'm looking for. So this chapter is for you to help find out your wiring and your spouse's wiring. Now, you're going to love this chapter. It says, trigger words and the conversation derail. You know, sometimes our spouse just know what to say to get under our skin, to press your hot buttons. And when you react to that, the whole conversation goes south. Now, if you can't decode what men are saying, this chapter is for you. What he's really saying when he says nothing. Men are so monosyllabistic. I think that's the word I'm trying to get. And sometimes, what are you thinking? Nothing. Well, he's actually saying something. And you need to know how to understand and interpret what he's saying when he says nothing. Now, this one is very vital and important for everyone. Safe conversation. Now, safety is important to all living beings. Maslow hierarchy of needs, right at the bottom one is safety. We need to feel safe. And if your spouse doesn't feel safe when they're speaking to you, they will avoid speaking to you, they will clamp up or clamp down, they will shut down and shut you out, they would even probably ramp up the conversation, get angry, get an outburst, and you know the drill. So, safe conversations, how to have them, what they are, the dynamics, the recipe of having a conversation where you speak so that your spouse would listen and listen so that your spouse would speak. Now, next chapter. Oh, I don't know which is my favorite chapter, but this one will come high up there on the list. The art of validation. Now, it has been said that validation is probably one of the most important skills in having a great relationship. And it is probably one of the well-kept secrets. Everybody thinks that communication and talking and all of that is the most important skill. But I think hidden behind all that, that nobody speaks about, or very few people speak about, is art of validation. I'm not going to go into the details of what validation is, but once you're able to validate people, you will find that people warm up to you. People want to talk to you. People want to be around you. People will think that you are the greatest conversationalist ever if you learn this one art, validation. Now, speaking without blame, this is a major trigger point. Many women don't understand that when they speak and the way they come over, the men interpret what they're saying, although they don't intend it, to be blame. Blaming. Blaming triggers shame. And shame, people don't like the feeling of being ashamed because they feel belittled, they feel less than. It's an uncomfortable feeling. And many women inadvertently, when they speak and how they speak, connote and telegraph blame, which puts the man's hackles and defenses up. So how do you speak without triggering a perception of blame? That chapter will be of importance to you. When things escalate, what do you do? Wow, what do you do when things begin to escalate? You say something, they counter it, you counter the counter, you react to the counter, and they react to your reaction, and things just simply spiral up, and like a volcano, poof, it blows up, and the mess hits the fan. You say things that you regret saying, that you should not have said, or they, in return, say things that you can't believe that they should ever say, or they were ever thinking. So what do you do when things escalate? Right? Small shifts, big changes. Small shifts, big changes. Little things that you can do to move the needle. And as that needle gets moved, there is a groundswell, an undercurrent that begin to shift the entire dynamics of the relationship to a point where it becomes better in short order. When faith and marriage collide, and this is for people who are of faith, and then the last couple of chapters, your personal practice guide, how you could practice the skills that you learn, and are you ready to go deeper? So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, how to be finally heard. Many of you, for many, not just days or weeks, perhaps even years, think that you are not being listened to, you're not being heard, but this is how to be finally heard. The link is someplace in the description.